Okay.
Give people a second to connect with us.
Right.
Dr. J's co-host. I think you can make people co-host.
Can I?
Yeah,
You think?
I think so.
No, I don't think so. Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're just
So
waiting.
yeah, we'll just hang tight. We got Jerry. Jerry's going to be popping on, but I know he's going to want to make sure he sends out the right link to a few people. I think he was sending the meeting ID from earlier. That's one of the challenges when you go fast, you know. So, all right. So let's just see if I know Tim had a guest that was coming on. I don't see her back on, so we'll hang tight. We got a couple of guests. Let me unmute you right quick. Hold on, Tim. Okay, we should be able to hear you now.
Yeah, she says she still can't hear. She's on, but she can't hear.
Really? Okay, let me see. I don't see her now, though.
I don't see her now either.
It's Victoria, right?
Yeah, Victoria.
Okay.
Probably have her log off and back in, unless that iPhone.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I had asked her to do. There's a phone number too that a person could call. Tim, you got something to write? Let me see.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you something real quick. And I see Jerry's there, but I know he wanted to send out
Jerry's here.
the right link. Yeah.
Okay.
Bear with me, Tim. I'll get your phone number. If she can't hear, she could stay on the video and then just call from, whatever phone, and she could listen in.
But she says she's on, but she says she can't hear.
But she can't hear? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does she have to push a certain button to be able to hear?
No. It must be her first time using Zoom, which is okay. It kind of happens to everybody. So
she might need to turn up her volume. Who knows? It's hard to say.
Okay, maybe that's good.
You said she's on her phone.
Uh-huh.
She's on her phone. Okay. Let me give you this real quick, and then we'll get started. Jerry, you're here, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Awesome. So we're just going to give Tim a phone number. Tim, you ready to jot this down?
Yep.
All right. So if she dialed 669-900-6833 and then put in the meeting ID, which is 924-488-1847. So if she can see on the phone she's in, if she's able to call from another phone, that would be ideal.
Oh, okay. She said it's all right. So what was that last number? 924?
488
Uh-huh.
1847.
Okay.
Okay, great. So Jerry, you ready to roll?
Yes, sir. I am ready. Rock steady ready.
Rock steady ready. Dave, you ready? I think.
Oh, he'll be ready in a second. I'll get
ready.
the
Let's do it.
over here.
What's that,
I'll
Dave?
record it right now. Okay, we're recording.
All right. Well, guys, listen, thank you for coming today. I know that you all have busy schedules, and I'm going to just cut to the chase. The reason you're here is because you have someone shared something with you that cares about you. And I'm going to just give you my story. I'm a martial artist, and most of you guys know who I am. If not, my name is Jerry Fastly Fontanas, and I got exposed to this just over a week ago. And it wasn't something that I was looking for, but it's something that I needed. And the reason I need it, because I love to help people, but I didn't have the proper tools to do that. And what I mean by that is that the protocols that I follow are pretty difficult, and my loved ones just don't follow it. In a week's time, I had 5 of my friends pass away, and I was depressed for 10 days. It was horrible. And it was because they were killing themselves, I believe, with a knife and a fork. So when I heard this information, it really resonated with me because I said, wow, this can really help them. And it's easy enough for anyone with no excuses to actually do it. And that got me excited. The gentleman that exposed me to this was Dr. Jonathan, who I know since we're teenagers. And again, I'm excited because my personal results already has been where when I'm training, I do a protocol of 50 kicks. And in 10 days, I've been able to increase that to 100 kicks. I know it doesn't mean much, but I'm just saying, imagine doing your regular training regimen and having that double in capacity in a matter of days. So that was incredible. The team that we have is phenomenal. And the gentleman I'm going to introduce right now literally was in a situation that was pretty dire in need because he was a mechanic that wasn't happy with his situation to the point where he was in pain, massive pain, because a former wrestler that wasn't wrestling at the time, but he was with injuries and pain, and he wasn't looking for anything in particular except to get out of life. So according to him, he being a Christian, but he still wanted to get out of this place. So he'll get into the details in terms of how he jeopardized his own life. But when it comes down to it, his wife won these products, so he was willing to try them. And it pretty much changed his entire life from there because not only did he try those products and they gave him the results, but he was adamant about ordering some more before they finished because he didn't want to go back to that place of pain. And there's so many people are right now in some form of physical, financial, emotional, what have you, pain. So we can help them at least with a few of those things, at least staying alive. And that's a good start, and staying alive, being vivacious. And so after 15 short years, he's been able to produce some incredible results just by helping people. But he was mentored by one of the world's greatest minds. The subject matter we speak about today, where he lectures and teaches doctors exactly how to increase the life expectancy of loved ones and even themselves, which to me, that's incredible to think that he's working hand in glove with a gentleman whose research was able to produce what would be a Nobel Prize. So leadership and team is the key. So we're working together with people now who've been there, done that, who are still doing it and literally are just starting, or as I say, just begun. And just to be honest, again, this is only about 10 days, but I feel like I've been at home because I found a team of people of similar mind. When you're striving to do things better, you need to have a team to make that happen because no man or woman is an island. And when I saw him and also Willie, it's like I saw these faces before. I recognize these guys, even though I never saw them. I felt really connected. But again, being documented is probably the most important thing. Being educated and informed is extremely important too. So this gentleman has both been documented with the results many a times himself and a lot of people, but he's also mentored by a genius. So let's say that he's a genius vicariously now because he has the same information. And so for me, I can honestly say that I feel blessed. Without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Dave MacArthur. Thank you very much, and let us know what you think and what you want us to do because we're here to follow.
Thanks, Jerry. I really appreciate that. And just right back at you. 335,000 people in my organization now, and I was a mechanic, broke, praying for God to take my life, couldn't replace the broken window on the front of my house for over 5 years. And I would disengage the safety mechanism on the lift. So every time I got under the car, it could fall on me, because my prayer was take my life or help me find a solution. And I wasn't giving up. I just figured if the mechanical safety features out of the way, God has an opportunity to take my life and bring me home. And it was pain and fatigue. And it was extreme for me in my life. And I would say that's the two biggest things by far that take people out of life is pain and fatigue. I had them both. And the fatigue was extreme. And nothing I did was taking care of it, nothing. And it was very frustrating for somebody that wants to pursue life and make a difference and always put in excellence to everything that we do, and just not getting that in the way of results in return. It was very discouraging. But I didn't give up, and I continued that prayer, and my wife won the products. That's how I got introduced to this company 15 years ago. My wife won them. So God is great, works in mysterious ways. And when the timing's right, the timing's right. So I don't have any agenda with people. I'm not attached to anybody's decisions. I love teaching, educating, and then let people decide. I've really partnered up with some incredible people in the world over the last 15 years, especially on the level that we're playing on. And, you know, Jerry, Dr. J, Willie, and Digna, just, I mean, no exceptions. And it's exciting to be playing life on this level. So I'm going to jump into this, go into the science. There's no hype about this at all. It's all science. And I think that if you're new here, you're going to learn something new for sure. Most people don't even know what a telomere is, let alone that they have one. And there's something you can do about it now. The telomere is being depicted in red at the ends of the chromosomes here, and they protect the DNA inside the chromosome. These little steps, that's your software, it's your DNA. And right where those colors come together, the telomere holds that together. It's like the duct tape on the end of the rope that's holding that nucleic bond together. And unfortunately, that telomere is being compromised. It's actually shortening or degenerating. I need to reset my PowerPoint here. Let me do this. There we go. So you can see how the telomere is getting shorter and shorter, the red tape. That's exposing these nucleic bonds and they separate. That's like losing software in a computer. So the more fraying you see represents more of these, it's like a zipper that's unzipping. And the further down that unzips, the worse your cells are going to run. So your chromosomes sit in the middle of every cell, and the DNA is what runs the cells. So this guy right here, everything that we see with him visually that looks like it's aged or degenerative is a telomere issue. We could link every one of these to the length of the telomere. The shorter the telomere is, the more problems he's going to have with the different systems in his body. Telomeres are going to shorten at different rates for different reasons throughout the entire body. Smoking, they say, causes cancer. Smoking doesn't cause cancer. Smoking accelerates the telomere shortening in the lung and throat area. So those cells getting bombarded with those chemicals that shorten the telomere faster, you're going to lose more and more DNA, which is going to cause those cells to malfunction. So they'll label you with something like COPD, lung cancer, emphysema, but it's a telomere issue and the DNA that's missing because of the shortening of the telomere. Eventually, you'll lose enough DNA that the cells shut down and you'll die of a degenerative disease. Now, all of that is Nobel Prize winning research in 2009. And Bill Andrews, the biggest contributor to this research that's live today and what he's doing today and where we're at because of his research. He was featured in Popular Science as the man who would stop time or essentially stop the telomere from doing this. He knew that the body can heal itself on a much more profound level than we did, that it should be healing this problem. It never has, but he knew that it was capable of doing that. And they're featuring him in Popular Science because he figured out what the problem was in 1994. He identified on a molecular level a gene inside the chromosome that could repair this damage. And he activated that gene in human skin cells in his lab in vitro by 1997. And the human skin cells, the chromosome and the DNA, repaired itself right in front of their eyes. Now, that's a big deal. Something that we would be more familiar with along the lines of that would be when we cut our skin. The skin repairs itself. Well, this is much more profound because it has to do with the foundation of our health in every area of our body, every cell. So what is linked to the telomere shortening? So let me just back up here. Diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, loss of vision, loss of hearing, muscular atrophy, skeletal atrophy, cardiovascular issues, thyroid issues, ALS, Parkinson's, lupus, everything, varicose veins, fingernail and toenail issues, any skin issues, cracking skin on the bottom of your heel, that's a telomere issue. Those cells are not functioning at 100% because they don't have 100% of their DNA. And it's the telomere and this gene that would be able to rectify that problem. What he found was that gene was being suppressed. And in working with human skin cells, after he identified that gene on a molecular level, they invented procedures and processes, and they were able to unsuppress that gene so that it was freely able to produce this enzyme. When it did that, it took care of the problem. Now they said, if we can do that in this guy, in all of his cells, Because the only reason this guy looks like this, not because of how old he is, it's because of his telomere length in the different areas that we can see that are not running optimally. Children today are now having diseases that you used to get when you were this age. Pre-teenagers now have osteoporosis. Babies are born with type 2 diabetes. Why? Because the telomere is shortening before we're even born now, because of the chemicals that are being passed on through the umbilical cord. There's a lot of chemicals in processed food, trans fats. Bill Andrews and his research team have shown that that actually shortens your telomeres faster. Kids' telomeres today are shorter than they used to be. That was on the front page of USA Today, April 2012. So when they did this with the human skin cells, they said we should be able to do that to that guy. Like factually speaking, but it was a very controlled environment with human skin cells in a petri dish. Well, guess what? Harvard did it. Piggybacking off of Bill's research, they did it with mice, living, breathing mice. Mice are mammals just like you and me. And so it showed the possibilities for us because Harvard did what Bill did with the human skin cells. They did it with mice. And what did the mice have? Cancer, diabetes, osteoporosis, cardiovascular issues, skin and hair issues. They all reversed back to where they were operating at 100%. And they realized that that was a foundational level. It wasn't like just getting rid of the symptoms. They fixed the cause, which was the DNA was missing. They didn't know, and that was the first time they learned that a living, breathing mammal could repair their DNA all the way back to 100%. That's why it was given the Nobel Prize. It's a really big deal, you guys. It's the most important conversation that we could be having. We are in a health crisis right now on so many levels and so many, so much depth. And who does it matter to the most? The person that's having the problem. All right. And it can be for an athlete that doesn't have any health problems, but they're not able to keep up with the younger kids. So they have to retire or they get put into their age group bracket. Well, it's not because they're older chronologically, it's because their telomeres are shorter than the younger kids. If their telomeres were just as long at 60 years old, they would operate like a 20-year-old. Okay, that's how profound this is. So this is me and Bill Andrews. That's me about 9 years ago now. We did a little video together. He was the one that mentored me. And he said, I know more about telomeres than most scientists that call themselves telomere biologists because I'm taking it to the street. And I learned from Bill. I put this presentation together. He said, Dave, that's the best presentation I've ever seen to take something really complicated and make it easy to understand. This is me and Bill just lecturing a couple months ago. So I show this just for credibility reasons. Bill Andrews is the living, leading, foremost expert on telomeres that's alive today. And here he is endorsing this information that I put together. This is Jimmy Smith at 80. This is Jimmy at 90. We call it turning back the clock. And it's not just on the outside, it's every cell in his body that we're turning the clock back in. And it makes a big deal. To Jimmy, he's 80 here and he's 90 here. So Bill Andrews and his research team, from 1994 to 2009, so more than 10 years, they had tested over 304,000 compounds, one at a time, putting them into the chromosomes of human skin cells. They're the only lab in the world that can do this. They invented these procedures. Still to this day, they're the only lab that can do it. Out of 304,000 different compounds, they found 8 that worked, and these red lines are an indicator that they worked. It was repairing the DNA, activating the enzyme, telomerase, and they were watching the DNA and the telomere repair in the human skin cells in vitro. And while Harvard was doing it with the mice, they had spent all of this time trying to actualize it in human beings by finding compounds that you and I could consume. So the red line is what you're looking for. But the problem with these 8 is they were all from chemicals that would cause serious side effects. It unsuppressed the gene and allowed it to produce the enzyme, but you had had serious side effects from each one of these compounds. They couldn't find anything safe, nothing natural. Enter the scene, John Anderson. This is how I was introduced to this. John Anderson's products changed my life back in 2005. He had to start his own company. He formulated for over 600 companies. Nature's Way, GNC, Metarex. He was Joe Weider's formulator and very famous around the world. And he's known as the Mineral Man by his colleagues. He formulated over 2,500 different health products for over 600 companies. But he said they all compromised one way or another. They wanted to make their profits. And so the formulations that he had spent so much time and effort and put into, they would compromise them one way or another. He said, I got some good products to market, but without exception, every single product I submitted to the companies that hired me, not one of them formulated it exactly the way I designed it. And he said it was frustrating. So in 2002, he started his own company. And he said, I could have people looking different and feeling different in 3 to 5 days, guaranteed. And they put a 30-day unconditional money back guarantee on the products and your own personal experience and what you thought about it. And now we're at, I think, $8 billion now, $8 billion company. And so John Anderson was introduced to Bill Andrews by my friend, Peter Greenlaw, in 2009, late 2009. John didn't know about telomeres. Most people don't. Still to this day, you're going to know more about telomeres than pretty much everybody on the planet. And I'm talking about surgeons, dentists, chiropractors, MDs. It doesn't matter. I've lectured to them. They don't know what telomeres are. I have people who are on our product and their doctors are freaking out. And they say, I'm on a telomere support product. They're like, what's a telomere? All right. So you're still at the cutting edge, the very cutting edge of this information. So John, when he was introduced to Bill Andrews, said, had I known this about telomeres and the role they play, I would have formulated for telomerase a long time ago. I feel very optimistic. In fact, I believe this is the reason I was born and why I learned what I learned. And immediately he started sending over formulations to Bill's lab where they tested them one at a time, right into the chromosome. And out of the first 15 tries, they got a hit from number 1. Out of the first 30, they got these 2. Out of the first 120, they got these 7. And Bill Andrews says, this is it, game on. This is the most exciting time of my life. This has been my life mission. And here comes this guy, up to 40 researchers in Bill's lab in over a decade, couldn't do what John did in months with natural ingredients. They called him a genius, immediately wanted to know what he was doing. And they said, we tried those compounds from those botanicals. They didn't work for us. And John said, that's going to remain proprietary. What I've learned is we have to protect things. We have to protect the quality. We have to get it better and better. And we have to keep the price low. It's the consumer that he's most concerned with. And that's been his whole life mission. So he started his own company in 2002, was introduced to Bill Andrews in 2009. This was released in 2011. And I was in the pre-launch of that. I got to watch all of this happen, you guys. When I met Bill Andrews, he had me at hello because it was next level stuff. When I learned about telomeres and the mice and Harvard, they grew their bones back without changing their diet. Tell me how powerful DNA was. And I'm just thinking, this is a game changer for humanity. Why have I never heard of this? Well, it's about timing and it's about collaborations and who you're introduced to. Who do you know, right? Well, I got to know Bill Andrews because of John Anderson. Not only that, I got to be mentored by Bill and I got to lecture with him. It's been an incredible honor to work with such humble servants. And so we're way beyond this. Now, this happened in 2012. The longer the red line, the more unsuppressed that gene is and the more, I guess, fluidly it's producing the enzyme. And so the repairing process happens faster. We're way past this, but I got a call from Bill on this one. He said, Dave, you have no idea. John did something I said would be impossible to do from a natural botanical, found 2 hits that went off the charts. Well, we're over 25 hits. Each one of these red lines are called a hit. And that means it's inducing that enzyme in our cells. And that they did it right there. This is all clinical data right here. This is the paper, the black and white right here. There is no further research. If you say, well, let me go check into this, there's no more to find out. I'm giving it all to you right here. I only get one shot. And it's been working very successfully. So we're literally changing the landscape of human health, just like Bill Andrews said we would. This is, we're on 4th generation now. Where's my bottle? I took it in my room. It doesn't even have a childproof cap. You just flip it open. My granddaughter opened it at 2 years old and spilled them all out on the ground. It's like a vegan product, but it is pharmaceutically grade formulated. It has to. It's a very precise product. And they still don't know how John's doing it. And John's still sending over more ingredients and they're finding more hits. We have a 5th generation that will be coming out every year or two. They've been improving the product, but 4th generation right now. And we're way beyond what you see right here. This is me at 33 years old. This is me at 50, a couple of years ago. And so we call it youthful aging. And it's a holistic approach. We have clinical studies on it. We're showing the assimilation. And the guy that did our clinicals actually joined our company. He couldn't believe the results, and it made him famous. Actually, Dr. Paul Arciero, I'm good friends with him now. So this is the message. We have something called a telomere. It plays a very, very vital role in every one of our lives. People say, well, why isn't it out there? It is out there. It's been in the news. Dr. Robert Watine, he was in the news in Florida. He's a board certified internal medicine doctor. And they went into his office and they wanted to find out what was going on. There was a lot of hype going on around town. So they went into the office and he says, look, I put over 400 of my patients on it and they're all getting better. And he lists things that are gotten better for him. That's literally on YouTube. I can't show it because he's making claims. A third party, they can do that. But me as a representative, I can't show that here. It'd be breaking the disclaimers that we have with the FDA. So I'm not going to do that. But the news doesn't market the products for us. If you didn't see it that night on the news, then you missed it. Just like the ABC News reporting on the mice back in late 2009. I've only ran into 3 people who remember seeing that. It's Nobel Prize winning research. Only 3 people remember seeing the ABC News reporting on it. And so it's word of mouth, it's the results, it starts with the science, and it's driven by the results. So I'd already been involved with the company for about 5 years before this came out. This product right here took me to over $1 million a year in just 2 years. They named me Man of the Year in the entire company because of the growth of my organization. I started leading with this because of what it was. I was the only person in the entire company that did that. And still to this day, you know, there are people who are now doing it that are not on my team, but it's still such a small amount of people. And you talk about being at the cutting edge and in first, only 12% of the people in our company are taking this product. You might ask why? Because they haven't seen my presentation. This is a presentation that I've done, and I've done over 5,000 of them. I'm trying, go easy on me. I am trying to get the information out there. I pretty much dedicated my life to it. I've done over 5,000 live presentations in front of groups. You count Zooms and phone calls, easily over 10,000 in the last 9 years. So, but it's starting to pick up now. And with people like Jerry and Dr. J and Willie, you brought in over 1,000 people in 6 months on your team. And so it's the real deal, you guys. I've been in the company for 15 years. I'm not going anywhere. And I really feel like I'm on a mission and in harmony with what God has called me to do. I believe it's the reason I've been born now. And, I know both of these gentlemen very well. We text, we talk, and I just want to try and convey as best I can to you in all sincerity and in truthfulness, and in also the profoundness of it and the importance of it. It's the greatest conversation we could be having for any human being. So you know about telomeres now, and you know about a nutritional supplement that can support those telomeres. There's nothing like it on the planet. They still don't know how John Anderson's getting the ingredients to do that. And other products have come out and said, yeah, we do the same thing. I hear that a lot, you guys. And people don't even know what telomerase is. And they'll say, yeah, we do that too. And Bill Andrews says there's no way they would know if they were doing it unless we tested the product in our lab. That's the only way you would know if you were inducing telomerase. And John Anderson actually made him test some products that came out that I had told them about, the marketing and what people were saying. And Bill said, I don't need to test it. But John twisted his arm. He tested them. There were none of these hits in any of the products, none. So they had false claims, which happens a lot, right? So moving on, there's the disclaimer, not going to make any claims around curing any illnesses or diseases. I'm not a medical doctor. This is not a medicine. This is nutrition, all right? But a very specialized nutrition that happened because of 2 people coming together. This is Dick Sauter. His daughter-in-law came to a meeting I was doing in Wisconsin. He's 82 here. He was basically tied to oxygen. He kept tripping over the tubes at home, and he was getting to the point where he couldn't take care of himself. Well, Amy came to a meeting that I did in Wisconsin, and she got him on it immediately. He's 82 here. He's 83 here. He's 87 right here. Amy's on our meetings all the time on our Zoom. So is Dick. And this is Dick at 89 years old. He's doing things that he couldn't do at 82. Here he is at 90, hauling buckets of walnuts around and digging in his garden at 90. He'll be 90 in July. And again, this is the power of the human body. it has an innate ability to heal itself. Anything that's alive, a living organism, has within itself the ability to thrive. But there's an X factor. That factor is that we got to support those mechanisms. How do we do that? Nutritionally. And I know that you've been on that crusade like I have for a long time, Jerry. And it's hard to get people to eat right. But with this, 2 pills in the morning, 2 pills at night, I knew that this was a game changer for humanity for several different dynamics. One, because of what it is scientifically, and the ease of taking it and the cost. So Bob Sheridan, he's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. He's known as the Colonel. The hospital sent him home right here. The whole boxing community got to see this. He's very famous. He's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. He's the only announcer in the Boxing Hall of Fame. And he announced all Muhammad Ali's fights. And the hospital said, just go home, get the paperwork ready. You know, you should have came in sooner. We could have put a pacemaker in. But at this point, your cardiovascular system's too weak. You wouldn't get off the table if we touched you. So my friends Dennis and Sharon Allen got him on the product. This is December 2011. 4 months later, I'm in his home doing a presentation for him and his friends. This is him at 6 months, being interviewed by Fight News. It's still on their website. You can go read it. He says everything that happened for him. They're like, what in the world? You were just in critical condition. We thought we were going to lose an icon in the industry. You're back to work and you look amazing. He talks all about the product. He actually got permission from the Boxing Federation to talk about this product with the athletes. Here he is sitting at home in his recliner a year later. He's still announcing to this day in his 80s. He looks as young as he ever has. And he said, I feel like I can go on announcing for another 20 years in his last interview, in his 80s. So this is the catalyst that caused the youthful aging, both on the outside and on the inside. There's things that happen to his cardiovascular system that they just chalk it up as a fluke. I've seen this so many times with this product. So if this, I'll say it in for those that are skeptical, if this is the catalyst that caused this and he keeps taking this, when is his body going to go back to this if he keeps supporting it with this? Pretty profound question, right? Even more profound answer. I'll let you answer it. Kathy, who was on our Zoom this morning, she's probably on this one as well. She says age is just a number. Absolutely. Athletes, this is like the greatest weapon. The world champion CrossFitter at 58 years old is on this product. And we have world champion figure competitors. People are breaking records in the military with pull-ups and the obstacle course by a huge margin, not just by a little bit. Kathy says age is just a number. This is 2012. Here's 4 years later at 69 years old. 69 right here. This is 70. Fitness America in Las Vegas. And I think Kathy said she's about to turn 73. So she's right. Age is just a number. Chronologically, there are people ending up in full-time assisted living centers in their 40s now. I was on the phone, a three-way call with somebody a couple months ago. She works at an assisted living center. She said, we're seeing them come in their 40s now. That's because the telomeres are shortening faster than they ever have. It's called accelerated telomere shortening. That's why kids are not going to live as long as their parents. You probably heard that, right? The Surgeon General said that. It's first generation of children that won't live as long as their parents. But the Surgeon General didn't say anything about telomeres and what's causing their accelerated shortening. When they get to senescence faster, they're going to die younger. That's why kids won't live as long. It's a telomere issue. When they reach senescence, their cells are going to shut down and they're going to die. And it's the processed food. They're eating so much processed food and those preservatives shorten your telomeres faster. So, Jerry was more profoundly right than maybe he realized. Maybe he already knew it, just didn't know that there was a bigger solution like this. My friend Jill, amazing rock star in this company. I've known her a long time. And this is 2011 when the product was released to the public. This is her in 2020 at 61 years old. Now, it looks like it should be going this way, right? But nope, we're calling it youthful aging, and we're pioneering something that is happening again and again so consistently. She's 61 right here. It's not a glamour shot. That's with her phone, a selfie, just like this was a couple months ago. And here she is at 42. Here she is at 60. That's Dr. Paul Arciero, one of her Facebook friends. I'm friends with him on Facebook as well. We just did a Zoom earlier today. Dr. Dunsky said this was the greatest thing that they instituted into his practice. So again, this is, Bill Andrews said there's no way you can put it in your body and it not work. So what a great message we have of hope for people. And people that are having challenges, they're the ones that, are appreciating it the most. But, well, I wouldn't even say that, not the most. I'm sure Jerry's going to appreciate it as much as anybody when he's out there kicking butt like he was 19 again. I had a motocross accident. I picked up motocross at 46 years old. I hadn't ridden a dirt bike for over 20 years. I had been on the product for about 2 years at that point. And I started feeling like, hey, why don't I pick up motocross? I just felt that youthfulness and that stamina and the energy. And I started kicking butt out on the motocross track. I'd go 2, 3, 4 days in a row. And I got really good, really fast, started racing, professional racing, and I was beating teenagers. And then in motocross, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I shattered my leg, the worst kind of break you can have. It's called a pilon fracture. It shattered the bone like glass. They said I'd never run again, and it would take up to a year before I could stand on this leg. I'm running stadiums at 3 months. I was back on the dirt bike in less than 4 months. Today, it's been over 3 years. It's like it never happened. I've had PTs, physicians, assistants tell me that's impossible with the pilon fracture. And some of them have said, I've watched you walk, Dave, you can't even tell. With that kind of a break, you would be able to tell, and it would just get worse the rest of your life. They told me arthritis would set in. And so even with trauma, and I've seen that over and over and over again. Bill Andrews is 68 years old, the geneticist. He's an ultra marathon runner. He's running faster at 68 than he did when he was at 40. He's breaking the world record. He's crushing it for a 70-year-old, 100-mile race, running race, ultra marathon. He says, I can't wait till I turn 70. I'm going to crush the world record because he's already running faster than he was at 40. He broke a record by 50 minutes that he set personally, his personal best. He beat it by 50 minutes in his 60s. And he says he's running as fast as faster than he ever has. That's not normal, but it is. It's the new norm. We talk about this new normal, right? This is the new norm, you guys. It's kind of like the Wright brothers when they learned how to fly. Not everybody believed them in the beginning, but now, everybody, it's the new norm. We can fly on airplanes now. So this will be a household name. Bill Andrews said, mark my words. He said, it's my personal opinion, and I agree with him, we'll get the Nobel Prize for this product, for its impact on human health, when everybody's on it. So Chantel had back issues. She couldn't sleep anymore, 0 sleep at night. She got on the product. Now she's hiking, horseback riding, helping her husband with his flooring business. She had back issues for 10 years. It just got worse and worse. And it got to where she couldn't even sleep at night. She thought it was a fluke. 3 days, and she slept all night in just 3 days of being on the product. She didn't talk about it for about a month and a half because she thought it was a fluke. So telomeres play a huge role in our lives, the most important role. Dr. Watine, when he was on the news in Florida, he says, look, I'm going to paraphrase. I don't really care what you think. It's about quality of life. That's what he said. It's about quality of life. And that's what this is doing. And it just makes him look better as a physician. So you want long telomeres, not short. Bill Andrews said, when telomeres get short, bad things happen. So this is the single greatest thing you could put in your body by a long shot. There's nothing that comes close. There is no close second place. We're pioneering something and we're way out in front. In fact, in 2012, Bill Andrews said those 2 big hits that I showed you, he said that moved my lab forward about 15 to 20 years. We're way ahead of that now. So we're way out in front and we're still improving the product. But it's not food, okay? So I partnered it up with what I believe is the second greatest product. And that is what John Anderson created back in 2002. He had to start his own company to do it. See, food is the problem. And Jerry, has been an advocate about this as well. I've been lecturing on this since about 2006. I got into isogenics 2005. I had my own transformation and I learned the science behind what John Anderson had done with food. And I haven't stopped talking about that ever since either. 1 bowl of spinach used to give you enough iron for a week. In 2007, it takes 51 bowls of spinach to give you the same amount of iron. That's a UCLA study. And it's not just iron and spinach, it's minerals across the board. You need about 90 nutrients to be pH balanced. 60 of them are minerals. And right here, you have the US Department of Agriculture showing that they're not in the soil anymore. Even in organic soil doesn't mean it has all the minerals in it, you guys. And so not only does organic not have all the minerals, they can still spray them with pesticides, just not as much. So guess what they find in them? Pesticides, even USDA certified. That is the best when it comes to food at the grocery store. It just gets worse from there. Processed food, non-organic and processed foods. People are killing themselves. This makes your body go acidic, which is shortening your telomeres faster, which means you're going to have more problems with your health at an accelerated rate. The more accelerated, the more acidic, the more accelerated it's going to happen. And that's why we're seeing kids with degenerative diseases before they're even teenagers. Some of them are being born with them now. Telomeres before they're even born. So what's the solution? This right here. Just to sum it all up, John Anderson's a genius. He made food better than you could grow in your backyard and put on a plate. How do I know that? Because I have I have a school teacher who quit school teaching because they were getting sick in her family. She started growing about 75 to 80% of their food, and they still were not thriving. She got on this, and Dr. Paul Arciero couldn't believe the results that this produced either. It's better than getting to homeostasis. You only need 90 nutrients to get there. This has over 200. And so what I do is I partnered it up with the isogenesis, the telomere support. I say just take one shake every morning, break the fast. That's breakfast. You're breaking the fast. You've been absolute best foods you could put in your body. There's over 200 nutrients in this, and it's enzyme active. And the protein and everything that's in that shake, you're absorbing over 90% of that. You'd be lucky to get 30% of the best proteins in the stores here in the US. Most of it's oxidized, it's been boiled. Ours is cold pressed. John Anderson's a genius. And the quality of isogenics. There's over 200 active ingredients, and it's enzyme active. So it'll get you to homeostasis doing one shake in about 5 to 7 days, which means you'll start craving the shake and you'll start craving less the acidic foods. I haven't had coffee, soda, Rockstar energy drinks in 15 years. 4 Snickers bars in 15 years. I used to have them every day, unless I was being healthy and trying to get back to where I was when I was in high school, and that didn't work. So on top of, we have just a whole health food store of products. This right here, vitamin C, 2 cancer doctors wrote an article out of Puerto Rico about our vitamin C. They said it's the best vitamin C they'd ever seen. And they published a paper about it. That was really cool for us as associates. This has D3, resveratrol, CoQ10 in it. That's very important with what's going on in our society right now. The virologists say this activates your immune system. It doesn't just empower it, which it does, it activates it. So it's already getting the soldiers going out and looking, scavenging for things that it can do instead of waiting to respond. That's powerful. And it's just a little tiny scoop and it's tasteless. We just call it a shake booster. You just throw it right in the shake. So we have a lot of other products. You have a whole health food store that's way better than any other products. John Anderson formulated for all those companies. They're compromised in one way or the other. I saw a study on vegan shakes. All of them had heavy metals in them. I couldn't believe there was that many vegan shakes. There was over 100 that they tested. All of them had arsenic and some of them had other heavy metals in them. And you would think vegan, well, that's very like integritous. The companies are going to be integritous. They're going to be making sure that we're not getting those harmful heavy metals in our body. I've seen too many studies now when it comes to supplements. So this was me before being introduced to isogenics. And I was working out like I was wrestling in high school and I was eating that way as well. And at about 2 months, I was at a plateau. And you guys know the drill. I was hungry and I was angry and I was always looking toward the next meal. When can I eat again? When can I eat again? My wife won the products at Isogenics. This is me 25 days later. I released 27 pounds. My energy and mental clarity went through the roof and I haven't looked back ever since. This is 4.5 months from here to here. And I'm not working out as hard here as I am here. Over 80% of your results comes from your nutrition. And I'm not going to say that there's not good stuff out there, but there's nothing that comes close. We have over 700 people that have their pictures on the wall before and after that have released over 100, 200, 300, 400, and even 500 pounds. I don't know any company that's helped 25 people lose 100 pounds. We have over 700. We have people who are world champion bodybuilders. We have Miss Universes in our company now. Our Miss Bikini America won it at 46 years old. You had to have kids. 46 years old. She won it up against 20-year-olds. She said she'd pay $500 a month just for the telomere support. In an interview with Isagenix, she said, I'd pay $500 for that product a month. So that product came out in 2011, 6 years after I got in, and it really turned back the clock in my sales and took me to levels that I had never been before. Literally better than when I was 16 in high school wrestling. So, there's no principle of health in what people are doing out there on the level that we have it. This has no principle of health in it. It's way too many calories. It takes you into the acidic mode, acidic level on the pH scale. There is no principle of health in that. This goes way above and beyond the principle of homeostasis, pH balance. There's over 200 nutrients. No wonder we blew them away in the clinical studies. And it's only 240 calories, delivering maximum nutrition, beyond maximum. This was $8.47. When I made this slide back in 2007, that's how much that meal cost. Today it's $10.50. This meal right here, it's under $3 a meal. Dr. Michael Colgan, who founded the Colgan Institute in Canada, he trains Olympic athletes. He says, I can't believe how inexpensive it was when I was first introduced to Isagenix. I started getting my athletes on the products. You had what I was giving them all in one product, and it was way less expensive and way more convenient. And I couldn't believe how inexpensive it was. And he said, the deeper I looked into your company, the better it got. So he joined our company. He's in his 80s. He never aligned his name with the company because he said, typically, the deeper I looked, the worse it got. And just the exact opposite with Isagenix. So you take the isogenesis, the telomere support, do the whole program, we're still to half the cost of this meal right here. Half the cost. And you're 2 pills twice a day and breakfast. Economically speaking, if it's a shake that you like, a lot of people do shakes out there. I juiced, didn't help, so I didn't do it very long because it was very time consuming. It was a pain in the butt, didn't taste good. If it would have helped, I would have kept doing it. If it would have helped significantly, but it didn't. I've been doing these shakes for 15 years and I haven't missed a day. I did 2 today so far already. I've done 2. We like to get people started with just 1 because 1 is enough. All right. And so you take both of these, economically speaking, you're doing something that's never happened before with the isogenesis. Greatest discovery of our time, still half the cost of this. So if you did this every month, every day for a month, and this every day for a month, there's the difference in cost. Economically speaking, that's a good move. You'll save money. And if it's just a shake that you like and it satisfies you, you're saving money on a meal that you're doing every day. But let's add the principle of health. There's me at 33, there's me at 50. And I've got people that, like Michael Bias in his 60s, was trying to ride a 100-mile bike ride, couldn't get past 27, 28 miles, would have to recover for a couple days. 100-mile bike rides now, routinely. And he says, sometimes, Dave, I work out when I get home from my 100-mile bike ride. It's unprecedented what we're doing, you guys. Yeah, professional athletes are on it. Don't mistake not getting all of the information and knowing. If I could download everything into my head, it'd be a no-brainer. It'd be done. There wouldn't be any question. All right. But your mind might want to go different places. I would encourage you to do what successful people do. You could see how this moves you closer to your goal. If what I'm sharing with you is true, you have to admit that this would be moving you closer towards a goal, getting a healthier body, because it's living the principle of health on a higher level than anybody's ever lived it. You have Bill Andrews backing it. You have clinical studies backing it. You have the observationals. You have the person who invited you here and their integrity and what's happened to them in a short amount of time. All right. So really nothing to lose and everything to gain. And we don't even have a customer membership. There's no customer membership anymore. You don't have to pay a $29 yearly membership to get the wholesale price. The company just eliminated it. For customers, all you're going to pay for is the product. And it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. 30-day money-back guarantee. So this is it right here. This is what the pack looks like. They couldn't fit all 30 mils in one canister, so you could pick 2 flavors. We have a lot of flavors. And then here, this is a month's supply of the isogenesis. So you do 4 pills a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night. It's $164. You help 2 people to get introduced to this, and they get started just as a customer, company will give you $120. They want to facilitate the healthiest people on the planet. They incentivize us to do that. They'll give you $120 by helping people to be aware of it. You said, well, why doesn't everybody know about it? Because it's word of mouth. Help us to get everybody aware of it. Bill Andrews said it will be $1 trillion product. It will be a household name. So help us to do that. And the company will give you $120 cash. And they'll pay you a residual income for the rest of your life on every person who orders the product every time. Any product, any person, every time in your entire organization. The computer system links you together. When somebody gets enrolled as a customer, it links you together with the software. So you create a family tree. So if they did the same thing, and that's for people that are in your family tree, you're going to get paid 6% on the product that they order. Every person, every product, every time, and they pay every Monday. We created 320 millionaires. We had one of the founders on our Zoom this morning, and she said she just called and congratulated the newest millionaires. They live in Australia, and they've been traveling. They live out of a van, and they've been building their isogenics business, and they love it. That's just the lifestyle they love. And they say we meet new people all the time, and we just share the information with them. They're our newest millionaires, and 320. So if you help them to do that, the company will actually pay you another $450 cash. So a total of $570 cash just to do that. Share it with 2 people, and they share it with 2. And they get paid 6% now. It's just you're passing it on. It's a 360 win-win for everybody. Who do you know that has sales? Who do you know that has bills to pay? Who do you know that could use some extra income, right? That's it. Health is the number one thing that I focus on. It's the number one priority. And the older you get, the more you appreciate good health. And it is the number one priority. It's my number one message. This follows. This is a result right here of helping people and adding value to their lives with something they don't know about yet. And if you were just to progress that out at the power of 2, the 6% that they pay you on everybody, every product, every time, by the time you got to the 7th level of everybody just ordering this, nothing more, nothing less, right here at the 7th level, you'd be making more than I made on my paper out. When I was introduced to isogenics, I had a paper out. I delivered papers every morning at 4:30. At 4:30, I delivered 200 newspapers. Took me about 2 hours. Then I'd go in and I'd fix cars as a mechanic. And then I'd go home at night and fix cars. I was working 16 to 18 hours a day. This replaced my income right here on a monthly basis. And this one replaced my income as a mechanic right here. That's 6% on 8 levels of my genealogy. Everybody just ordering this. It's just math. It doesn't change. They've been paying this since the company started. That's how we've created 320 millionaires now. I'm making in a week and a half what I used to make in a year. Making in a week and a half what I used to make in a year. What is your number? That's a fairy tale dream life come true for me and my family. Fairy tale dream life come true. What's your number? 4,000 a month? 8,000 a month? I thought I would, the Jeffersons moving on up. When I was at a little over 5,000 a month, I thought that was it. You guys. Way beyond that now. Because I love helping people. I'm like Jerry. I'm not going to stop. I love helping people. That's what I love. I don't mind making the money. They're paying that. The customers aren't. I'm not making that from the customer. I'm making that from the company. Customers are paying the same price for the products that I am. How cool is that? And we're making millionaires out of customers paying the same price for the product that you pay? Pretty profound, isn't it? We're at like 320 now. So this was me before. That's the house we lived in. This is the window that's shattered. It's broken for years. That's the car we drove. Not the car I wanted to drive. Wasn't what I wanted to be doing at 4:30 in the morning. Wasn't the house I wanted to be living in with the broken window. All of that changed. My health changed, and I saw an opportunity to provide a product and a service rather than changing oil and rotating tires. And I had to keep rotating the tires and changing the oil. I built this at night after work, but it didn't take long and I replaced my income at work. And last year we went on 3 dream vacations. We went on a safari for 10 days or 2 weeks. We went to Disneyland, got 4 hotel rooms at the Disneyland Hotel right on Disneyland, and brought in the whole family, paid for everything. Those 2 vacations cost more than what I made in a year previously as a mechanic. And I made more in a week than I paid for both of those vacations. Well, a week and a half. And then we went to Europe for 10 days. We did all those in 1 year. We just heard Disneyland's opening back up. Guess where we're going? Gonna take the whole family. We're going to Disneyland. And I don't have to worry. Nothing goes on credit cards. And I want that for everybody. You know, this is where I was before. This is where I am now. And I used to change people's oil for a living. Now I get to change their lives. And I'm happily achieving. I was happy before I became a millionaire in Isogenics with what I was doing. I'm happy now that I'm a millionaire. There's a lot of unhappy millionaires out there, a lot of stressed out millionaires. I'm not one of those. I love what I'm doing. I'm aligned with God, the highest good. We're helping people to self-actualize. Progress is the number one law of the universe. It's God's universe. So I'm partnered up with God, helping people to do the number one thing, progress. I don't take it lightly, you guys. And I know Jerry and Dr. J and Willie and so many of you don't. It's what we partner up with that decides the choices we're going to get to make in life. As a mechanic, I was offering a product and service. Working with Isogenics, I'm still offering a product or service, but I have aligned with a different company, different set of principles, made all the difference in the world. And I've self-actualized above and beyond. If I died today, I would have accomplished more than I ever thought I could have. And I'm not going to die today, and I'm going to continue to go on and help other people achieve the same thing. And so get back with the person that got you here. Biggest decision, which flavor? And if you don't like the flavor, they'll send you a new flavor if you call them and tell them, because of the 30-day unconditional money back guarantee. And they'll say, keep that old flavor. We'll send you another flavor. And get back with the person. They'll set up your account. Products will ship right to your door. It takes 2 or 3 days. You can share it with 2 people right away. We have a 27-minute video that explains all of everything I just shared with you in 27 minutes on YouTube. You don't have to share it with anybody, but if you do, you can have $120 cash sent to you right from the company. And that qualifies you for the 6% on every product, every person, every time. And we pay every Monday. The $29 membership, gone. Wholesale price, still there. And remember, you have access to a whole health food store that's going to boost your immune system. And I'll say these last 2 things and then I'm done. I'm going to toss it over to you, Jerry. Bill Andrews said about the isogenesis, he's never seen anything boost the immune system like the isogenesis does. He said that back in like 2011 when the product was released from the stage. Dr. Michael Colgan, he said 1 shake will boost your immune system by 500%. 500%. 1 shake, not 1 shake canister, 1 shake. He wrote a book about it called The New Nutrition. You can get it at Amazon. You know, so welcome home, you guys. I'm so excited for you to get started on this journey for yourself and for your family. And then the possibilities from there are endless. We say Isogenics matches.
Dave, I apologize for jumping in, but I'm going to ask you for one request. I'm going to request one thing. That 13th level, I know a lot of people still hanging there. I got to see that 13th level because I know they're going to ask me. I think it's, what was it, Jerry Maguire, show me the money? Yeah, Jerry Fontaine says, show me the money. Level 13, please, if that's possible.
$54,000 a month. $54,000 a month. I'm about to double that, you guys. And Willie's on his way. You guys are just getting started. And look, not even 1% of people are in Isogenics. How many people have heard of Isogenics and think they know what it is? Over 50% of people in the United States. How many have actually taken a really good look? You know, they don't know that they don't know. And telomeres, I lead with the telomeres, you guys. That made all of the difference. It's simple, it's intriguing, and it produces the results above and beyond what I could display here on this presentation. If you say it could do, if it does half of what Dave says it could do, you'll know that that $54,000 is right around the corner because it does more than what I said it could do on this presentation.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. So listen, guys, I don't want to be on here any much longer. I apologize if it was any longer, but I think it was phenomenal. But I do want to pass it along to one person, you know, because he's part of the team. It's very important. Together, everyone achieves miracles. And you guys know that not one person is an island. And it's very, very important. I'm trying to get people to wake up to the fact that as leaders to me are martial arts instructors, parents, and anybody, elders, we are leaders, but the leaders need help to lead. And sometimes it's the energy, they just get drained. So I want to pass the mic over to Willie for the purpose of another person who I really strongly believe who's been documented to produce the results, maybe when he didn't have the best tools in the previous business, to just say a few words. Willie, can you do that, sir?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Jerry, thank you so much. It's been great, man. I mean, we've known each other a little over a week now, and absolutely exciting. It's, it's an honor to be working with you such a short period of time, and the future is so much brighter. Dr. Jonathan, just amazing, and Dave, thank you so much for your leadership. We've been in business for ourselves, my wife and I, for about 16 years, and we felt that glass ceiling in corporate America. And so I was committed to find a business or build a business that I could retire my wife, from home. It took me 6 years. She had a 6-figure income at the time, but I learned this profession of network marketing and direct sales. And so when we were introduced to Isogenics about 11 months ago, I was that person, like Dave just said, that I thought I knew Isogenics, just like you, Jerry. You were like, "Oh, weight loss, no way," but you didn't say it, but you shared it afterwards, And when I heard this about the telomeres, and I heard the two simple products, low cost, 100% money back guarantee, the impact they could make on people's lives. I had just lost my mom about a year and a half prior to learning about this information. She was in the same predicament that Bob Sheridan was in, that she needed an operation, but her heart couldn't withstand it, and my mom is in a better place. That was her call, God, took her home, but I understood that, what, there's other people, that can actually live longer. And just like you, Jerry, you mentioned, I got a Willie Morris 3 already, my grandson, and I want to be around to see Willie Morris 4, his son. And, quality of life is everything. And we just, we absolutely love people. We love business. And we're in a new economy for those that are not aware, but some of us, most of us, I hope, are a little more aware that the industrial era, which just shut down in front of our eyes, is outdated. And now people are generating money from home. And I know Jerry, conversations he's having with people, is like, how's your online business doing? I could say for this online entrepreneur, my online business, and I say this respectfully because I know a lot of people are, struggling right now, but my online business is actually doing better than it was doing last year. And our main purpose is to help impact people's lives. What better business, could you be in? So, Jerry, man, I'm excited about, what we're going to do collectively as a team, and I know our whole leadership team, within our organization is really excited, to be partnering up with you and expand, what we're going to be able to do. So thank you, brother. Thank you, everybody, for your time. God bless you.
So, Willie, I want to thank you for sharing. Now, listen, maybe I'm a little out of line, but I see one of your stars here, this guy that, Mr. Guillermo Padilla over here from, man, let me tell you something. I see his lovely wife there. Haven't had a chance to meet her, but brother, man, if you could do me an honor, man, if you give me an honor, just give me, bro, you got to give me 30 seconds. Otherwise, we're going to have some problems because you make me cry. Man, you keeping it real, and I really appreciate that. If you can unmute yourself, if that's possible, because I do what, I got to hear it. I got to hear it.
Let me get him here. There we go.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So first of all, I want to introduce Jean. She's not my wife. She is a new member to the team. And she is ready to rock and roll. She's ready to rock and roll. And I just put her in the WhatsApp and the accountability because she's ready to rock and roll. She's ready to go. So she's here. We were going to the back office and I just wanted to show you what we do. But yeah, listen, I'm excited about what's going on. I'm excited for Jean and what she's seen. And she's got, man, she's a powerhouse. I'm so excited about my weight loss, about my wife's weight loss, about what Jean is going to experience joining the team. And let me tell you, man, we cannot be at a better place right now for what I've learned from Dave. We've been sitting here talking about the products, been talking about what's going on with our bodies, our life, and she's had the privilege to already have the product in her body and getting some good results and things like that. So I am really, really excited about what this team is doing and what's going to happen here in Tacoma, Washington here pretty soon. because let me tell you, I'm sure she's been a secret. She's been a secret. She's been a customer for a while, and she's been a secret. So I just want to give her 30 seconds to tell you guys what she thinks, and because this is an amazing lady, and I'm glad and I'm privileged to have her on the team.
Hi, Jean Bonds. I've been to Kenya 8 times, and that's where my work is at. Guillermo and I have known each other for a long, long time. I spent the last year working on my health and lost 45 pounds, but I was looking for a product that would help me sustain my weight loss, and I believe that this is the one.
Nice.
So guys, man,
Well, Guillermo, I just want to, I think something that would be worth the new people to hear too, as you've been on the products now, you're coming up on like 10, 11 months. You're rounding third base, sliding into home right now to 100 pounds, right? You're getting close. I think over 90 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, over 85, 90 pounds. But your back was hurt, in the military from trauma. And in the first week, you're like, your back wasn't hurting anymore. And you went in to see your doctor, and she literally swore at you because of the numbers and what she was seeing. And you started mentioning telomeres, and she's all, what do you know about telomeres? She goes and grabs the other doctor, brings him in, puts him in front of Guillermo and says, listen to what this guy is saying. I don't have any patients that are talking. This guy's talking like a scientist. You mentioned telomeres. What did that other doctor say?
I went to my doctor. She was pretty amazed on my blood work and how much weight I've lost and everything like that. She asked me what I was doing. I said, well, I've improved my telomeres. And she kind of looked at me really weird, and she goes, telomeres? What do you know about telomeres? And I started just repeating what I've learned here. And she said, man, I've never had a patient talk to me about telomeres. I know a little bit about it. And one of the other doctors walking by says, come on in here. Look, I got this patient here that he's improved his telomeres. And that's the thing that's going on right now. That's the amazing thing, the research on telomeres. And the guy goes, what is a telomere? and I'm sitting there talking to him about the telomeres, the chromosomes. They're the tip of your chromosomes, and so I'm a very humble person. I got a high school education. That was it. And my dad had to browbeat me to get through high school. And so I'm not that educated guy. I'm like Jerry. I'm a New York boy from Harlem. That's all I got. But what I've learned here, and I started speaking to them, all of a sudden that thing in my mind, I'm going like, I'm speaking to 2 doctors, and they're looking at me like deers with the headlights just turned on, and they're looking at me like if I was training them. And I was like, wow, that never in my lifetime would I sit down and try to educate 2 doctors. So I thought that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. That should be some ahas. That should be turning on some lights for some people.
Yes.
Working up some ears.
Well, guys,
that's a routine thing that happens. Go ahead, Jerry.
That's phenomenal. That's awesome. Guys, listen, as you know, I was introduced to this by Dr. Jonathan, and I want to just finish it off with him. But before that, guys, listen, teamwork makes a dream work. And I don't care how strong you are, you can't hold back time. If you want to make believe you didn't know this or learn this, you can if you want to. But realistically, how's your online business doing? Because for whatever it's worth, I said it before, and I'll say it again, my ex-wife, right now, online business is the reason why my daughter is going to be able to go to college. Because right now, I've had challenges. This is just the truth. Because what has happened has made her online business more than triple during these times. Today, she's on QVC of all places. You can get the candles there, but because she's a real business person, in the sense that had to spend tens of thousands of dollars to start up a business, which I don't have the resources presently. My point is that you just found out something. You can make believe, deaf, dumb, and blind if you choose to. And without trying to be mean, with or without you, I'm living. I want to have my fast feet forever. Which way is it? Fast feet. Wait a second. You can see it. and that's what my goal is. But Dr. Jonathan, you're the reason why I'm here. So I have to make sure I pass the mic to you guys. And if you have to leave, I understand that. We already went past the point. However, I strongly believe it's important to hear from the people themselves, because the gentleman that's a doctor in a variety of ways. And I'm not talking about Dr. Zeus again. We're not talking about PhD. I'm talking about this guy's a medical doctor, man. This guy has done not just a medical doctor, but if you could grab the mic, I would really appreciate it, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. Unless he's not here. Wait a second. No, there he goes.
I did not make him a...
Hello.
There you go. Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, I just want to thank everyone, on the call today for being on the call. Thank Jerry too for taking a look at it because when I saw this, I just had to share with him. Jerry and I are like brothers. We know each other since teenagers, basically. And me personally, as a doctor, I'm a general surgeon, and I'm also a clinical nutritionist too as well. And I've traveled all around the world. But I mean, I've been network marketing before. I've done other multi-level companies. And there are a lot of companies out there with great products. You get great results and everything. But I never heard anything about telomeres. Reconfiguring again the chromosome and everything, tip of the chromosome. I mean, that's unbelievable, unheard of. So when I saw everything and I took a look at it, I said, wow, there's something that if it does half of what it does, this is going to be very powerful, in the industry. So I decided to do my due diligence. I got on the phone with first with Willie, and then Willie got Dave on the line. And then we looked at everything, because I told Nestor, I said, I need more information. So he said, oh, we'll get you all the information you need. Because, as a doctor, we're all very skeptical at first. When we look at things, everybody wants to recruit a doctor. Who doesn't want to recruit a doctor? But there's a lot of products out there that don't do half of what they say they do. So you lose your credibility. And you only have one. Your credibility is only one. You lose that, forget it, you're done. So I wanted to make sure before I even spoke to anyone that I was getting in with the right company and with the right opportunity. And knowing what I know today, I'm glad that I could offer not only health, but also wealth during this crisis that we're going through right now. So with that, I just want anybody who's here for the first time listening to this, don't think twice, because I thought about it for about almost a year, because the person Willie introduced called me right away. And I said, I'm not ready. This is not for me. But sometimes it's timing. Sometimes you got to just wait. And this is my time now. So I want to take advantage of it. And same thing for those that are on the call. Take advantage of it. If this is your time, you got invited. The person who invited you care a lot about you and wants to make sure you're here for a long, long, long time. So don't waste time like I did. But like I said, there's always a first time. So go for it. Dave, thank you very much for your awesome presentation. Willie, Jerry, I love you. You're my brother. And everybody else on the line, just let's work hard. Let's work as a team, and let's make this thing grow to the next level.
Amen.
Wonderful. So guys, on that note, what else can I say except that the opportunity is there? You can open up the door or choose to make believe you don't hear it. Hopefully you open up the door. At the very least, try the product, guys. It's a money back guarantee. At the very least, feel good. If you're not ready to do the business, that's not a problem whatsoever. You do have free will. But I strongly know that I've cried enough this year. And if I cannot cry ever again for the rest of the year, I've made my quota for a while. We've lost too many people, and it's all based on the immune system being compromised. So God bless. Best wishes, AB. See you soon, guys. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.